This is Captain B Cards. I want to talk a little bit about the realities of buying cards from overseas and deciding whether or not to sell them or open them or whatever it is you want to do. You know, if your goal is strictly to make money, you're going to have to sell a lot of volume to make money. Let me explain. So I just got these 4 boxes of 2025 Cacawal Disney Cosmos, popular product, right? Breakers are breaking them all the time on Whatnot. The singles on Whatnot sell for a lot of money. You know, we're talking about like the of 75s that are really nice red. You know, I'll always ask people, like, what are you getting for your 75s? And they start at $200 on Whatnot. Now, the reality is when you go on eBay, you can find a lot of 75 and even of 25s for much cheaper than that. And part of that is because in an auction, it's going to take a little while for people to realize the card is there. They've got to know what the Cacawal cards are to even look for them. And the product is just not super well known in the United States, at least not nearly closely to what Topps is, because they don't get sold here. They don't have the license here. Their licenses are their license is only in Asia. Topps has the license here. Even though I think they're wonderful cards, the word just is not out. So for like these 4 boxes, right, that I got from my guy overseas, $405 for the whole thing. Now, because I wasn't ordering a whole case, I had to pay the shipping. The shipping was $38. Then I had to pay the tariff because of everything that's going on in the country right now with China, political, blah, blah, blah. Tariff, my guy keeps it really low, but it's still around $30. Okay, so $405 plus the shipping, plus the tariff, you know, we're getting up there. And then when you look on eBay, right, there are people in China selling these boxes for like super cheap. I saw one that was selling for $105. Now, Cacawal insists the bare minimum you sell them for is $120, but people are selling them for $105. Now, here's what people don't realize, just looking at that on eBay. They're going to get whacked with a tariff, and the shipping is going to take like 2 weeks to a month. And I know because I've bought a lot of boxes from Chinese sellers on eBay, and it takes forever to get here. One of the reasons why I started getting them directly from a distributor for myself is because they ship within 2 days. So on release day, I'll have a case of anything that I order. Right now, I'll have a case of Phantom Disney on release day. Nobody in America has that. Breakers, some breakers do, people that have the connections of their own, you know, but to me, that's a very valuable thing, to not have to wait a month. But people are going to see that price of $105 per box or $115 per box. And then they're going to see a competitive price for an American distributor of $160. And they're going to say, why would I pay that? Well, on the business side of it, that you're never going to get that $160. First off, out of that comes everything you've put into it, including the tax and the tariff and the shipping. Now remember, eBay takes a 13% chunk out of that. So, you know, at $160 at 13%, you're now already down in like what, the 140s, the high 140s still. At just the comparison of what you sold it versus what they're going to give you. And then you've got to factor in everything that you've already paid for it. So in terms of selling these, you know, this product, you're only going to make $15 a box. So how many boxes would you have to sell in order to make it worth your while? A lot. Now, the other option is you can go on Whatnot and you can be a breaker if you feel like doing that, and people certainly do. But with cards like these, they're not really bringing in the customers for breaks because so many, they've already moved on to other things. There's already new stuff that's out there, and the new stuff is always going to sell better. So I didn't buy these boxes really to sell and try to make a profit. What I would like to do is offer them to people who are interested in the cards, want to get them very fast because I ship next day. But I'm not sure that they're going to pay that $160. You know, and then of course you got the materials that you have to put in to protect the product when you ship it and the whole nine. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I am just going to rip these boxes because I love these cards And there are still some cards that I haven't found. The Disney Cosmos leans heavy into Mickey and Oswald, and I like Oswald cards a lot. And I haven't seen too many, so it makes me think that maybe they're still out there. So I think I am going to open 4 boxes and enjoy myself. And if you are in this hobby for anything other than to enjoy yourself and enjoy the cards, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. There are people that make money at it, but you know, if money's all you're interested in, there's a lot of other different ways to make money. And you certainly don't need to make it exploiting people or taking advantage of them. And certainly not when it comes to something that, you know, is really meant for, it's really meant for, you know, for kids, or for that sense of innocence that we all have, or for the sense of enjoyment that we get from, you know, getting something in the mail that is going to be a lot of fun and is going to add to our collection. And ultimately, you know, is going to wind up in the hands of someone that really appreciates it. So that's where it's at. You know, that's just end of speech. But that's just the reality of collecting, buying, selling, you know, and all of that. And check out my next video. It's going to be me opening these and finding a 1-of-1 Oswald. I hope. Keep collecting.